Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathie. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'll be guiding you through an all-level flow focusing on the lower body. So a lot of hip opening, stretching for the legs, the psoas, as well as the knees. So all these lower body joints and muscles will be the target of our practice. So as always, for our all-level classes, you can have the option of using a strap or a block, anything you need. I'll provide some different options and variations for the postures, but please listen to your body as always for practicing any of these postures. So let's get started. And remember, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Click on the subscribe button and be sure to leave a comment in this comment section below telling me what else you would like to see in the future. So let's get started. We'll meet on the mat. So we'll begin in a wide-legged child's pose. Let's bring the big toes together, knees out to the edges of the mat. We're going to start to push the hips back towards the heels. Stretching the hands forward, dropping the chest, dropping the head. You can slide a block underneath your forehead or bring it underneath the sternum to raise the floor. Taking a few breaths here to center the body. Breathing in a little bit slower, filling up the lungs. And take a moment to release any thoughts or unnecessary thinking, worries, any kind of distractions going on in the mind. As you breathe in a little bit deeper, allow your body to release and relax, finding stillness. At the end of your next breath, let's slowly rock forward, coming up onto your hands and knees. Moving the block off to the side. We're going to start with some hip circles. So extend your right leg back, inhale, kick, and point the toes. As we exhale, we're going to bend and circle the knee up. Start to draw some circular motions, moving clockwise. And we'll take it counterclockwise, opening up through the hips. Start to really open and massage out the hip joints. Looking forward, we'll step that foot to the top of the mat. Bring your right foot in front, come up onto your thighs, or stay on your fingertips, or you can reach for a block. So we want to make sure our joints are stacked, right knee over the ankle. Continue to lift up through the chest. Taking 3 deep breaths here. And slowly release, placing your left hand down. Inhale, easy twist, reaching up, right arm to the sky, twisting through the back. Gentle spinal stretch. Option to bend your elbow. Take that hand back towards your sacrum or low back. Continue to look up, twist, and breathe. Slowly release. Come back to the center. We're going to heel toe the foot to the outer edges of the mat. Right toe is pointing out. Right heel is pointing in. So finding our dragon pose. So from our dragon pose, you might want to cushion the back of your knee for a little bit of extra support. Now from here, notice how it feels in the hip joint and in the psoas, in particular the left side. We can start to roll onto the outer edges of our foot. So gently splay open through the knee. See how that feels for the knee joint. If it doesn't feel good for the knee or the hip, we're going to bring that foot back down flat on the ground. So taking the variation here of your choice. Gently dropping the foot out to the side, taking a few deep breaths. Make sure we can still breathe. So our breath is always a good gauge in any posture to see if we can stay still, if we can go a little bit deeper, or if we need to recede and come back. Remember, try and make the breath and the posture work for you. At the end of your next breath, we'll close up the knee, heel toe back into center, curl the toe, lift the knee, and we'll step back into our table position. And we'll come over to the left side. So start with some knee circles. Inhale, kick the left foot back. Bend the knee. Start to twist and open through the hips. Try to keep the weight even in your hands. And maybe switching directions, taking it in the opposite side. And we'll look for, step that foot to the top of the mat, left toes in between the hands. We're going to come up onto fingertips, or using your block, or we come up onto our thigh. Make sure we're balanced and our back knee is comfortable. Option to roll over the mat or place a towel underneath. So you shouldn't feel any sharp pains in these postures. Remember to use blocks or other props to make the postures work for your body. Taking one more breath. Exhale, place the right hand down to the inside of the foot. Inhale, peel open the chest. Easy twist, reaching the arm up. Twisting through the body. Maybe bring the hand towards the low back, finding a shoulder opener. And slowly release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take the hands down. We're going to heel toe the foot to the outer edges of the mat this time. Again, check, see how it feels on this side. Both of our bodies might be a little bit different from one side to the other. So start with the foot flat, toes pointing out, heels pointing in. See how that feels. If there's room to go a little bit deeper, you can allow the knee to splay out to the side. Give your body a gentle rock from left to right. And holding here, finding a few deep breaths in our dragon pose. And slowly release, closing the knees back up into center. Curl the toe, lift the knees, and we'll step back into our downward facing dog. Drop the chest, drop the head, press the hips up and back. From our downward facing dog, let's take an inhale, right leg up to the sky. Point the toes. And on the exhale, bend the knee, allow the hip to open, dropping the foot over towards the left. Inhale, come to center, look forward, step that foot all the way to the top of the mat. We're going to drop the back foot down flat on the ground. Inhale to come up into a nice wide stance. Setting it for pyramid pose or runner's stretch. So this is a variation on the standard pyramid pose where our feet are together. We're going to bring the feet nice and wide, making sure our hips are squared to the top of the mat. Take a breath in, lift the heart. As we exhale, hinge forward, coming down. So because our feet are wider apart, you might be able to get the hands directly on the floor. But if you're not quite there yet, you can always place a block in front of your hands. Pull the right hip back, send the left hip forward, continue to pull and twist. So we're stretching into the backs of the hamstrings, into the calves, dropping the chest, dropping the head. Finding 3 deep breaths, targeting the backs of the legs. One more breath here. And slowly release. Turn so that you're on the toes. Back heel is lifted. Coming up, reaching the hands. Inhale. High crescent lunge, bounce a few times into your hips. Pressing up and down, make sure you're balanced, keeping your gaze steady on a single point in front of you. Taking your breath in here, exhale, we're going to twist left hand forward, right hand back. And we're going to connect these two postures. Inhale, back to center, high crescent lunge. Exhale, we're going to twist, continue to sink forward through the front knee. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale to center. One more time, twist here, pause, turn the palm open, inhale, exalt, reach up and back. Nice deep stretch for the left side of the body. And taking the hands down to the floor. Setting up easy twists, opening up through the chest, reaching the arms up. And from here, we're going to take this right leg, wiggle all the way back, finding your high plank. So options in our high plank, bottom leg can come down onto the floor. You can stack or scissor your feet. We're going to press down into the insides of the leg, inside of the feet to continue to lift the hips all the way up, away from the ground. Option to pick up your top leg, finding balance. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center, step that foot. Top of the mat, heel toe the foot to the outer edges of the mat. Drop the back knee down, finding our dragon pose. Heel in, toes turned out. This time we're going to come down onto our forearms. You can go a little bit deeper. Option to flare out the knee. Allow the knee to drop out to the side, rolling to the outer edges of the mat. Holding and breathing here. Option to use a block underneath the forehead. And we'll slowly come back up. Inhale, pressing up, closing up the knee. Curl the toe, lift the back knee off the ground, step back, downward facing. Take a moment to reconnect the breath. Drop the chest and drop the heels. Start to pedal up the feet. Now we'll prepare for the other side. So breathing in, left leg sweeps up. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Finding our three-legged dog. Looking forward, step that foot all the way to the top of the mat. Coming up onto your fingertips. Staying steady. Inhale, we rise, high crescent lunge. One smooth movement takes the hands up. We're going to bounce a few times into the hips. Reaching the hands up. Oh no, wrong. Downward facing dog. Inhale, we're going to pick up the left leg. Exhale, open up, three-legged dog. Breathing in a few times into the back of the right leg. Inhale, look forward, step that foot all the way to the top of the mat. Drop the back foot down, wide-legged pyramid pose. So our feet are very far apart. We're going to catch our hands to our hips and twist a few times towards the left side. So twist, twist, twist until our hips are square to the top of the mat. From here, breathe in, lift the heart. Exhale, we're going to hinge forward, coming down. So again, hands can come to the floor or we reach for a block. Try to keep a slight bend through this front knee so we're not locking at the joints. And if our spine feels pretty good and we have a flat back, you can see how far you can lower without making the spine round. So continue to lower and breathe. Maintaining length of the spine. One more breath. And slowly release. Inhale, look forward. Taking the hands down onto the ground. Turn out your back toes. We're going to come up. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Bounce a few times into your hips. Finding balance and stability. Taking a breath in here. Exhale, we're going to take the right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist and lunge. Inhale to center. Exhale. One more time. Breathe in, high crescent. Exhale, revolve. Take that hand all the way down to the floor. Inhale, easy twist. Reach the top arm up. Option to reach back for a bind or a half bind. And slowly release. We're going to shift our left leg all the way back, finding our side plank. So again, scissor feet, bottom leg can drop down, or stacking the feet, pressing the insides of the feet down to the floor. Imagine there's a string tied to the side of your hip that's pulling you up away from the ground, nice and light. Option to lift the top leg. And we're going to hold whichever position we're in and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, coming back. High plank. Exhale. 3 deep breaths. Downward facing dog. Let's take an inhale, pick up the right leg, right knee towards the right wrist, send the hips down into our pigeon pose. So in pigeon pose, I recommend taking a block and just sliding it underneath the right hip. And this will allow us to keep the weight even between both sides of the hips. Front knee can stay completely open so that our shin is parallel to the top edge of the mat. Or if it's more comfortable, you can close the knee up. And this will allow you to have a bit more balance in our pigeon. Whichever way works, as long as we're keeping the weight even on both sides of our hips and we feel a stretch in the outer hip in the glute med. And let's reach the arms back, interlace the fingers, take a breath in, open up through the heart. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to slowly dive forward, hands to the ground, dropping the chest, dropping the head. You can rest your head onto stacked fists. Finding release into the outer hip, breathing all the way to your back toes. And slowly on the next breath in, let's press up. We're going to remove the block, place it off to the side, closing up the knee joint. We're going to drop our weight over to this right side, bending the back leg, reach back, left hand, left foot. So we're going to gently draw the heel in close towards the hip, setting it for a mermaid pose. So this might feel really good. You can hold it here. If you like to go a little bit further, you can place the foot in between the elbow crease. Check it out here, see how it feels. Maybe take the right hand and find your bind in full mermaid. So we're targeting the tops of the legs, the quadriceps. And if you like to go and challenge, you can bring yourself up into mermaid pose. And we'll slowly release, come down, curl the toe, lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. And we'll lift the left leg, send it forward, pigeon pose. Left knee, left wrist. Crawl your right leg all the way back. Block can come underneath the left hips. Check to make sure our hips are balanced on both sides. And when you're balanced, let's reach the arms back. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Finding a heart opener. Exhale, slowly release, dive down. Coming down towards the floor. You can rest your head over hands or stack them onto fists. Taking 5 deep breaths. Slowly at the end of your next breath, let's press up. Inhale, look forward. Take the block, shift it out from underneath. We're going to drop our weight over towards the left hip. Close up the knee if your knee is open. This will allow you to turn your body. Bend the back knee. We're going to reach back. Right hand, right foot. Slowly drawing the heel towards you. See how that feels. If there's room to go more, go deeper. You can place the foot in between the elbow crease and use your arm to pull the foot in, getting a deeper stretch through the quadriceps, through the tops of the legs. And of course, mermaid pose. If you're balanced, we reach back, interlace the fingers, Continue to lift and open through the chest. So holding your variation for 3 deep breaths wherever you are. And we'll slowly release, gently, without slinging that leg back, placing the foot down. Curl the toe, lift the back knee, exhale into downward facing dog. We're going to look forward, hop, and take a seat. Swing the legs through. Sitting up nice and tall into staff pose. So our ankles will flex, toes pointing up. We'll slide the hands back in line with our sit bones, press down into the palms. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, gently tuck the chin in towards the sternum, into a neutral spine. Breathing here. Feeling the sit bones ground down, shoulders pulling away from the ears, spine is growing tall. Let's inhale, maintaining the length in the back, reaching the arms up. Exhale, start to fold forward, seated forward fold. Now, if you can hold on to your toes, you can go ahead and reach for them with our piece of middle fingers, or you can use a strap. Throw it around the arches of your feet. Use the strap as a handle to give yourself a little pull, or level up. We can take a block. If you're reaching already beyond your feet, you can place a block in front and go ahead and reach for the block. So finding your level here. We're going to fold forward, finding our seated forward fold, taking 3 to 5 deep breaths, thinking about length in the back. And as you exhale, breathing into the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. And we'll slowly release. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release the block, release the strap. Placing your right leg over the left, we'll bend the bottom leg into half Lord of the Fish pose. Both sit bones on the ground. We're going to hug the right knee in, left arm up to the side. Taking a deep breath in, reaching left arm up. Exhale, left elbow to the outside of the right leg. Sitting up tall, breathe in. Exhale, we twist. Nice stretch for the outer hips, into the glutes. And slowly release, and we'll come to the other side. So release your feet, and we'll take the left foot across. Bend the bottom knee, swing it back. Taking an inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, elbow to the outside. Sitting up nice and tall, breathe in, ground down through your sit bones. Exhale, we twist. Using that left arm as a support for your back. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, wringing the spine, twisting, deepening the posture. And we'll slowly release. Inhale, come back to center. And let's slowly bring the feet together into a butterfly shape. Breathing in here, lifting the heart. As we exhale, start to fold forward. Holding here, one more breath. And we'll slowly release. Inhale, come all the way back up. Gently guide the knees to close. And we'll start to make our way down onto our backs. Pull the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug, rocking side to side. And release the feet down towards the floor. Arms beside the body, palms facing up. Taking a moment, allowing your breath to slow down. Start to surrender and let go of any breath retention, any stress lingering in the body. Feel free to stay here as long as you need in Shavasana, with your own meditation. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this class, and I'll see you next time on the mat. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. I hope you enjoyed our flow and found a little bit more space for your legs and hips. My name is Kathie. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Click on the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And as always, drop a note in the message below to let me know what other classes or postures you would like to work on in the future. Thank you so much. Namaste.